Welcome to all of you members of Richter Arts, and to all the visitors, and especially to the people who are visiting us for the first time. Now, for your special benefit, just a few words on background. The place where you're sitting, this land and this house, the Richter Park area, was once a working farm that supplied the city of Danbury with fresh vegetables and eggs and milk and so forth. It was owned by Mr. and Mrs. Richter, who lived in New York City and who made this house their weekend retreat and their summer home. Now, they loved the arts, and for this reason, the house was always full of artworks. And the beautiful salon was the setting for many a concert for their family and for their friends. Now, in due time, when Mrs. Richter became a widow, she willed the house and property to the city of Danbury to be used as a recreational center. The land was for outdoor recreation, and the house was to serve as an art center. So in accordance with her will and wishes, in 1971, the Stanley L. Richter Association for the Arts was established here. And thanks to a succession of dedicated volunteer boards, we have kept this place as a cultural center, a place where all the arts are presented for the benefit of the people of this whole community. And I mean all the arts. That is the visual arts, the performing arts, both the traditional, the modern, the popular, the classic, all kinds of art that contribute to the lives of civilized people.
first acquaintance, first impression. It is also considered one of the foundation dancing. It is based also on like walking steps, side steps, but it is very good for developing variety. It has an attractive appearance and actually...
Slower as you become more advanced.
Sure.
All the dance, you become more advanced and the dance is quicker.
When you think foxtrot also, it's one of like the Frank Sinatra type of songs, a little bit more jazzy. You see people gliding around the floor. It's probably one of the most popular slow dances in America.
And the greatest love the world has known. This is the love I'll give to you alone.
Balmy, lovely day for a change. And here's a song, it's in SeaWorld on the String. This is the first song that I ever sang in public, and also the first song that I ever saw a young fellow from Hoboken, New Jersey, with blue eyes. He was about 120 pounds. I can honestly say I'm almost twice the man that he was. Let's see. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got that string around my finger. Lucky me, can't you see I'm in love? I've got a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. Life is a beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string. I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let it go. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love with this thing. As long as I hold on to that string, I'd be a crazy so-and-so if I should ever let it go. I've got the world on a string and I'm sitting on a rainbow. Got that string around my finger. What a world. I'll tell you, this is the life. Hey now, I'm so in love.
usually presented on Sunday afternoons in the spring and in the fall. Sometimes we have programs at the library in the winter when this house is closed. We are supported partially by grants from the Danbury Cultural Commission and partially by members' dues, which are purposely kept very low, and partly by contributions from visitors to our events. Now today we are presenting a very special benefit, and it's being given to us by Wayne Maddox, who is a noted antiques appraiser and dealer. He is an expert in the field of American art, American furniture, decorative art, Western arts and collectibles, and many other things. He has written many a column for newspapers, magazines, web magazines. He has been featured in a television special, The Chronicle, which was an award-winning television film. And he has been a celebrity auctioneer for many a large-scale fundraiser. So we are very lucky to have him this afternoon. Now, Mr. Maddox would like you to come I would like to call some of your names in order so that when he appraises your things, we will have no delay between one and the other, and our program can go a lot more smoothly. So I hope you enjoy your afternoon. Just one thing I want to share with you. Wayne has told me a few days ago that it is the common perception among people that antiques dealers are a little bit boring and stuffy. I can promise you, because I have been to his programs, that Mr. Maddox is the opposite of boring. So enjoy your afternoon and find out something about the history and the values of your precious things from Mr. Wayne Maddox.
Thank you, Betty. How many people here have seen a TV show called The Antique Roadshow? Good. Well, you know, I went there one time, and I'm going to start by telling you the story of my experience. Hello, Mata. Hello, Fada. Here I am at Antique Granada, called the Roadshow, the one you know, helping chubs and PBS to fiscally grow. Got here early, round 4:30, hauled a table, thought was worthy, all to get me on the TV toward my goal of being a big league celebrity. Row is numbered, I'm 940. Here there ain't no pot of porty. There's 1,000 queued behind me, and this lady's bronze keeps jabbing in my hiney. Line is moving like molasses. Glad I brought my opera glasses. It's a winner, they keep saying, and they'll say that about my treasure. I keep praying. Who needs Regis? What's a millionaire compared to an antique billionaire? All the parties I'll be throwing, Oprah Winfrey and Donald Trump I'll be knowing. With the twins now, Lee and Leslie, they're my heroes like Elvis Presley. It's a repro. What do they know? I sure hate this cockamamie Antique Roadshow. Now this pewter right here is pewter that was made in the 20th century. It's a complete collection. Could you read the bottom of that for me, hon? There's a waste bowl, there's an under tray, there's a teapot.
Sugar and creamer.
It's what does it say?
L.H. Vaughn.
L.H. Vaughn. Now pewter generally this was made in Taunton, Mass. Is not worth a whole lot of money unless it predates 1840. Just as a general rule. So what you have here is a beautiful collection of pewter that was made like colonial pewter, but it's not what we call first period pewter. It was kind of a copy of the earlier pewter. So your whole collection here, if it was to show up at an auction, you could probably buy it for maybe $150 to $300. I'm sorry about that. But see, a lot of times you get your heart broken in this business too.
All right.
But one of the things to look for in any antique is you want to find something that's original to its day. Like a 1959 Barbie doll, right? Somebody said, why does a baby doll have to be a baby? Why can't it be something else? That's true to its period, you see. But somebody who copied a Barbie doll in 1970 wouldn't be worth very much. And what's this piece here?
No, this is...
Okay. This is a book by Miles. It says Miles Standish on it. And this is a book that says Connecticut Beautiful by Wallace Nutting. Wallace Nutting became a millionaire in the early 20th century by taking a new art called photography. He took these photos, had 9 spinster ladies color them, in a place called Heritage Village in Southbury that used to be called Nottingham. And at one time, almost every house in America had a Wallace Nutting photograph up on the wall. Wallace Nutting photos are worth, the outdoor ones, about $100. The indoor ones, about $300. This is a Wallace Nutting book. This is worth around
full
10.
Of plates. It's full of plates.
It's full of plates. Color plates? Yeah, but the plates in here, this is a nice book with a lot of pictures in it, but the book is fairly common, and it brings around $10, $15.
Oh, gee.
The Courtship of Miles Standish by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. What you want to look for in a book is a first edition. Generally, a first edition is a book that doesn't make a reference to any previous edition. So it won't have something that will say copyright 1942, 43, and 44. It'll just have one copyright date. You see what I mean? First edition books are worth money. The rest of books are worth hardly anything. That's probably... Yeah, that's probably not a first edition. It says copyright 1838, 1886, 1895. You see what I mean? It's got lots of copyright dates. So even though it's a beautiful book, it's not worth a whole lot of money. And this painting right here, one of the things we look at when we see this, does the frame look original to this painting? Kind of, though, right? A little bit. You notice that the frame doesn't look to be real fancy, and you see the painting has kind of that quick look. It looks like one of those Parisian kind of paintings where everything has kind of a watery look, like a beautiful rain just came down. See, a lot of people did that. And these kind of paintings generally don't bring more than like 50, 60 bucks. Okay? So you can, and you've got something under glass there. Okay, hold that right on up for the audience and I'll take a look at it. And is this an original watercolor or gouache here? Okay, who's it by? Yeah, I can't see it though underneath there. It's kind of dirty and stuff like that.
Lewis Millstock in it?
Lewis Millstock. So what we're going to do, sweetheart, I want you to look up that right there, M-I-L. One of the things you need to know about paintings and artwork, first thing you ask yourself is it an original work of art? This is, okay? It's probably got something in it like a chalk, because that's why the glass is over it, so it can't get easily smeared. Once we know it's an original one, the next thing we ask ourselves is, does it have what I call a free hand? Does it look like the artist really had a feel for what they were doing? And this does. Now we're going to look up the name, because most painting collectors are signature collectors. It's true. Picasso said he could do anything and people would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. So now we're looking up the name, M-I-L-S, is it? Mills, M-I-L?
M-U-H-L.
Okay. M-U-H-L.
There's a Rachel.
Okay, Rachel Mills. Yeah?
St. Canada 20th Century Landscapes. It's $200.
And there's a Louise Millstock too, 1904 Canada, landscapes. So we looked up the artist in this book, and we find out that the artist's work generally brings in the neighborhood of about $2,000. Somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000. Because this is a large and really good example, that's about what it's worth, all right? Thank you, sir. This is a poster. It says, "Lift Every Voice." Marian Anderson lifted her voice in April 1939. You know, this was a 1990 poster. And it's got a great look. They didn't make a lot of them. And this was kind of an important antique in its day, 1990. You know, it brings a nice heritage into it. And it has a great look to it with the American flag in the background. And you know, it's just a few years before the towers came down. You know, and it's kind of a neat period of time. It's right before the world changed forever. I would say that that's worth in the neighborhood of about $150. It's a great, excellent looking poster, and it's fairly rare. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah.
This is from the Napoleonic Wars.
My great uncle.
Now, you tell me about this.
This came from a house in Ireland. It belonged to my father's great uncle, who fought in the Napoleonic Wars.
So you know for a fact that this was actually used in battle when Napoleon the First was...
Yes, in the early 1800s.
Okay. So this sword probably has a silver hilt, and it was produced in Europe in the early 1800s. It was made by a company named Reed, probably, and it's got its original scabbard. And I would say this is worth in the neighborhood of about $400 to $500. Okay? And your clock, a clock is nothing more than it's trapped energy. That's all it is. So when you wind a clock, you're trapping energy. Then you release the energy with a pendulum. That's all a clock is. You can really, if it's a water clock and you let the water come slowly out, you're releasing energy. So this is what's called a weight-driven clock, or is it weight or spring-driven?
It's weight. I took the weight out.
Okay, I didn't see it. But this is a weight-driven. It's called the Vienna Regulator, and it's worth $750. Okay?
Paid $85?
You paid $85. Is there any police in the audience here? Oh, isn't that pretty? All right. Okay. This is a large pitcher, probably for coffee or chocolate or something of that type. We know by looking at this was made in the Victorian period. Who knows when the Victorian period was? Anybody? Victorian?
1870.
Right, 1870s in that period, right? Queen Victoria. And that was it was a busy period. That's when we learned how to mechanize everything. And during the Victorian period, everything was highly embellished. You see, we had to, when we made something, we had to make sure we painted it here. We had to paint it up here. You wouldn't want to miss up here, right? And of course, the spout has to be done in order to make sure it's ornate. See how they never stop making it ornate?
That's Europe.
You know, and see, that's what happened during that period. It's a little on the over-ostentatious side. So I can look at this and immediately know it's Victorian because they never stop. Had they made it a little more simplistic, it would be perhaps just a touch more beautiful. But it's very European, it's very ornate. It is probably worth in the neighborhood of, I'd say, $300. Okay? Yeah, just 300. Because you see, it's trying so hard to look beautiful, it isn't. And this is a figurine, once again, from the Victorian period. Because you see, there's two little angels here, or cherubs. They've got grapes, they've got goats, they've got a fence, they've got birds, they've got grass, they've got rocks. You see what I mean? You can look at it and right away say it's from that period when they really embellish things. And Victorian period stuff is just a little too busy for today's taste. So this figurine, once again, in a couple $100 range. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So what I'm doing is I'm not poking fun at your stuff, but I'm trying to teach people how to analyze things.
My parents.
Hello, sir. How are you?
This is oil painting over.
Okay.
It's an oil painting over. It was done at the time of the Civil War.
Okay.
And on the back it has his parents and the three sisters assessed to the fact that it's bright complexion and everything.
Okay. And it's done by Ed Bearden? Who painted it, probably?
The lithographer is Middleton.
Middleton. Okay, this was a very rare print by somebody named Middleton, and then it was painted. Okay, because they really weren't very good at color prints during the Civil War period, and this was probably painted by a guy named Bearden. This is, I imagine, General Grant, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the back it says his parents and his three sisters attest to the fact that it has the right complexion and everything.
Okay, so Grant's family attested to the fact that this is accurate?
You can see it here.
Yeah, but you see metal.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So what this is a very accurate depiction of one of America's greatest heroes. You know? We always give Lincoln all the credit, but this gentleman here did an awful lot toward changing the world for a better. And you know, we always talk about him as being a drunk, but he was a great general. He was a man with a lot of courage, and he, as much as Lincoln, freed the slaves. He also wrote the very best book ever written by a president. It's called Grant's Memoirs. He was a great American. This is a beautiful depiction of Grant. It has the original glass over it. It's real wavy.
I think the frame is original.
And the frame's original. This glass goes back to the 19th century. So doesn't the frame. So I would say that a Civil War collector would be happy to pay several $1,000s for that. All right? And it's such a great looking image of Grant and such a rare one that I think it's museum quality. Made it look, they submerged it in some coolness to crackle it, and it's in the shape of a dolphin. It was done by an artist, but it doesn't have a nice poncle down here, so it was probably made, I think it was probably mass-produced, okay? And you know, it's kind of cool looking because it is a dolphin, but it just doesn't have what I would call a great artistry about it. The dolphin's mouth is too big, and I know you can put flowers and everything in there. What I like to do with an antique, first thing I do is step away from it and look at it and say, how beautiful is it? You know? Is it something that I would want to put in the center of my mantel place in my favorite room? Maybe, yes. Do you have it in the center of your mantel place in your favorite room? You do, right? Well, but it's nice, but you have had it for a long time. You know, it brings back warm memories to you. Okay? But, you know, it's probably about 100 years old. It's probably worth about $100. Okay? Thank you. It's a cool thing. I've never seen anything like it. And this is olive oil?
Yes.
Okay. This is a really rare early depiction of olive oil. For some reason, one of the most valuable of all early toys is anything to do with Popeye the Sailor. I have no idea why that is, but it's true. Popeye stuff brings big money. This is a very rare early toy depicting olive oil, and I would say it's probably worth $200-300 because it's a Popeye antique and it's very, very nice. All right?
Right.
I like it.
I'll take it.
Beautiful. Cool thing. And what we have here is a spider leg table. Could you hold that right up in the air for me, Ken? Now, what you want to do when you have a table like this at home is turn it upside down, okay? Turn it right upside down, huh? And you want to inspect it here. If the legs are dovetailed into the post, it may be a table made before 1850. If the legs are nailed into the post, like this one is, it's a later table. So that's the first thing at home. You take your candle stands, look at them from underneath. They should be dovetailed, and then they'll often put an iron thing over it to secure it. So this is, we know, is a later piece, probably early 20th century. It's got a nice coat of paint on it, but because it's not a real early candle stand, it's probably 75 years old instead of 200 years old. It's worth around $150. Okay? Thank you.
Cool.
And right here, this says Summer Smith Olson, with my very best wishes, Milton Caniff, New York, 1952. Isn't that a really cool looking image? I mean, it just looks like a kind of woman who was very hot looking in 1952, right? That looks like Beaver's mom when she was young. That was, you know, that was the Beaver's mom when she was just courting. It's a really great depiction of the way a woman looked in 1952. I like it for that reason. It's a time capsule. Milton Caniff is an artist who brings probably a couple $100, and that's, I would say that if I had this in my shop, I'd ask $350 for it. Because it's true to its period. And don't ask yourself how old something is in antiques. Ask yourself if it's true to its day. Does that make sense? Thank you.
I have to go down here.
You know, this is a nice electric lamp with, you know, a beautiful picture of a Japanese woman. Okay? And you know, these figurine lamps, they made lots of them. And the fact that you have two of them makes it kind of nice because it's easier to decorate with. But the two lamps together are worth around $350.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You know, they're nice, they're decorative, they look good. $350?
Wow.
Yep, they're nice.
I had an aunt who left all the Orient.
And these right here are pictures, they're kind of stencil done. And they're worth around $30-35 each.
Oh, cool.
Okay?
All right.
They've got a good look. In certain environments, this will make a great decorative object. Don't you agree? I think it's got a great look to it. All right? Thank you.
Do you have a card?
I tell you what, when we're all done here today, I'm going to give you all one of these Woodbury Antique Dealer brochures, and I'm going to show you where my shop is in here. I'm the one with the big American eagle with a quill under it. I'll open that up and show that to you. Are you getting, okay, hold on. This is, you take one of these. Here's me. I'm the one with the eagle and the quill underneath it because I write about antiques. So when you leave, everybody can take one of these.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, this is pewter.
Yep.
It was made in the early 20th or late 19th century. And it's called Britannia ware. And pewter made after 1850, garbage. It's just not worth a whole lot of money. It's worth around
You know, it's made in France?
$30-40, even if it was made in France.
Okay.
Okay? And right here, we've got a set of dominoes. Now, these are made out of mother of pearl. Dominoes, for some reason, are very collectible. One of the reasons is people still play dominoes today. Another reason is they put a lot of effort into making domino sets years ago. A lot of them are made out of ivory. This is rare. This is mother of pearl. Your domino set is worth in the neighborhood of $500.
Wow.
Okay? Because you can play with it today. It's complete. It's made out of a valuable material, and it's rare. It's a great antique.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you. It's funny, this looks more valuable than that, right? But, you know, often in life, the opposite of what we think is true is true. You know, we sell stocks when we should be buying, we buy when we should be selling. Oh, I love this right here. There's a key and there's a penknife. I mean, a pen, right? For signing treaties. That's a chevron, and it's from the Civil War. Probably what, sergeants? Yep. Sergeants? I've not seen this particular one before. I'd say that's worth it. I like the fact that the writing quill's there. Okay?
Quartermaster, maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And that's not something you see every day. It's worth around $300-400.
Okay.
Best place to sell it, eBay.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, this is a little cannon. It's kind of a toy type thing. It's in its original box. And, you know, there's a lot of people that collect toy soldiers. When I was a little boy, I loved toy soldiers. And little boys grow up to be big little boys. And we still buy this stuff. About $100.
Okay, thanks.
This was my great-grandmother's, and it's from Germany.
Okay. One of the reasons we asked that question is if I was to say this was circa 1960, I would look like a complete idiot. You know, you always find out from somebody who owns something first. So we know it's your great-grandmother's, and there's a pair of them. They were made in Germany. They're signed. This is called Parian ware. It feels a little bit like stone. Okay? This is painted Parian ware. And these are worth around $350 for the pair. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. This is iridescent art glass. It looks a lot like Tiffany glass. It probably wasn't made by Tiffany, but it was made by one of the art glass manufacturers who are trying to look like Tiffany. It has silver overlay, which was probably executed in Meriden, Connecticut. And it's got a beautiful iridescent tone to it. That's worth around $300. All right?
I'll take that.
And some things that look a little bit like this can be worth $3,000 and more.
I think that's what we have that behind us.
All right? Right here, we've got a beautiful piece of art glass signed underneath by Renee. It's signed Lalique. How old is this?
My grandmother used to collect glass in the Depression era.
Okay.
I don't know how old it is.
But do you believe she bought it in the Depression era?
Probably.
Yeah. It was probably contemporary to that period.
Yeah.
This is worth in the neighborhood of $800.
I have a set of lovebirds. I have another one that's a pair of lovebirds. Same
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Anything that was made by Lalique is always worth a lot of money because Lalique was one of the great artistic firms of the 20th century.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, they faked a lot of Lalique stuff, but we know that the grandmother was collecting authentic Lalique, so we have a pretty good idea that that one's real. Yes, sir. Okay.
Also grandma's.
Okay, also grandma's. Now the first thing I'm going to do here is ask if it's look for damage. I don't see any significant damage at all, if any. It's signed underneath. Who does the signature say, sir?
I think is it Loetz maybe? L-O-E-T-Z?
Okay, that's good. Loetz is a very big maker, and it's this kind of stuff that Loetz made. Another company that make glass like this is called Quoizel. All right? Either one, they're very similar in values. This has a very unusual color. Somebody colored this glass, and then they gave it this peacock kind of iridescent coloration. One of the things I'm doing is making sure it's rounded here and not cut. Same with here. That's the way a good piece should be. Whenever you find art glass, and you find sharp cut edges, it's a fake. If you find rounded edges, it's often authentic. It's that easy. All right, one of the things you look for. This is signed.
Signed Loetz, it's signed Porcelain.
Who is it signed by?
P-O-R-R-E-S-I-S.
Okay. So it's signed by another one of the makers, but it's a neat color and it's worth, I'd say, in the neighborhood of $750. Okay? Now, if I owned this, I would never sell this to a dealer for $750. If I had to sell it, I would put it up in an auction to find out what I call deep the water is. Does that make sense? Nice piece, sir.
Thank you.
You know, I could see it bringing $1,000 and more possibly at the right sale.
Thanks.
And what do we have here?
I have a
Candlestick.
pair of these, but I only brought the one.
See if that one's signed, hon.
Yeah.
Okay, unsigned. These are free blown. That's called a polished ponto. Glass grapper blew this. Then he had to snap it off his rod. Then he polished the ponto. It's got this very rare, beautiful, iridescent color. And why do you think candlesticks are worth a little more than other things? Anybody? Right, because they got broken. I mean, just look at that. I'm ready to break it right now. You see? And then you put a candle on it, and when somebody burns their elbow, oh my God, and they knock it over. To find a pair of these is hard. I mean, it's a rare thing. And I would say, I wish it was signed, but I know it's by a top quality maker, and I would say it's worth $1,500 for the pair. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good. And by the way, the best investment in the world you have is those candlesticks. Better than your stock market, better than anything. We have a pair of large Royal Ducks porcelain figurines. Royal Ducks is kind of collectible in the same way Ladro is collectible today. In places like New Orleans, this stuff brings a lot of money. I would say some down south in New Orleans where it's more collectible than it is up here, or even more so in Europe. In Europe, this is very hot to find. In places like Prague and stuff, these are very hot. I would say like, you know, $800 for the pair. Okay? Nice.
Royal Ducks.
Royal Ducks.
D-U-X?
D-U-X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not D-U-C-K.
No, not D-U-C-K-S. But that's a very good maker. You can see they're nice quality. You know, I especially like the guy. He's got a sickle there. He's a man who's a hard-working man. He's handsome. It's nice. And here we simply have a porcelain clock. They made lots of these in the Victorian period. It's spring-driven. And these clocks, they made lots of them. Almost all of them are worth about the same amount of money. They were made in places like Ansonia, all up the Naugatuck River. They're also made in Europe. And they bring about $350.
Oh, okay.
All right? Thank you. And we have a pen. And this says 1937, First Avenue, New York. Is it a mechanical pencil?
A lead pencil?
Yeah, it's a mechanical pencil. And it's neat because it's 1937, First Avenue, New York. And it says, C. Willersdorf Cafe. It's kind of a cute thing, you know? I would say in the neighborhood of $20.
Oh.
All right?
Better than nothing.
Out in California, there are people who do nothing but spend their entire lives looking for old fountain pens. Big money today. Generally, they can be worth $200-300 each. They sell like crazy. Thank you. And we have another pair of figurines here.
Grandma's.
These were from Grandma's. So we, you know, could guess that they're somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 years old because I'm sure they had some age when she had them.
Yes.
And, you know, they have that nice European look with the water. You know, this is Jack and Jill who went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. I think that's what's going on here, right?
I think so.
Well, I think that's what's going on here. And they're hand-painted. And they've got a nice glaze on them. You know, they're probably made in Germany or something like that. And they're worth around $500. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it's cool. Well, this is a arts and crafts period chandelier made, it's funny, Kathleen and I went to an auction and purchased an 18th century Polish or Russian chandelier just a couple days ago. And this is a copy of the 18th century one that we purchased. And this was done in the arts and crafts period. In the arts and crafts period, this was right after Victorian period. They said, we don't want things that look like they're made by machine. We want things that look like they were made by hand. You see all the little pommel marks on here? It looks like some tinkerer was sitting there with a little teeny hammer and pounding it. See? They wanted it to look handmade. They wanted it to look more rectilinear than curvaceous. This is arts and crafts period. Arts and crafts period stuff is quite collectible. It's a period that was a reaction to the Victorian period. And this is worth in the neighborhood of about $500 as a piece of arts and crafts lighting.
If it were wired, would it be worth more?
No. No. There's people that know how to do that today.
Okay, thank you.
Cool thing. Very rare. Nice.
Hello, Mr. Maddox. It's a Burmese town in Burma.
Okay.
Burma.
This is from Burma. It's a beautiful hand-done picture using silks instead of paintbrushes to create the rendition. And it's got, what's that, Mount Fiji it looks like, right?
I think so.
And, you know, this is worth in a neighborhood of, I'd say, about $200-300.
Okay.
Okay?
This shaving lotion, my husband's father's Gillette original.
Okay. This is an early Gillette razor in its original case. It's worth around $100.
Okay.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got a pocket watch. Oh, look at that. Something I haven't seen before. Somebody put, in 1964, they put a $50, okay? Now, what I love about this is the fact that it is a 1964 $50. A year after he was assassinated. You know, isn't that cool? Somebody was like brokenhearted about his death, so they said, I'm going to take him and put him on my pocket watch. They made a pocket watch out of Kennedy. And let's open it up, and I'm sure there's nothing fancy going on with the watch, right? You want to open that up for me? Yeah. I'm sure it's just you don't have to. It's a standard pocket watch, but what this is neat because in 1964, it was a year after he was assassinated, Northwest Outfitters. It's a nice quality pocket watch, but the watch is not what's neat that's here. What's going on here that's really nice is the fact that somebody put Kennedy on the face of it. It's got a second hand, and that says genuine U.S. coin on it, I think. Coin silver, right?
Genuine U.S. coin, yeah.
Genuine U.S. coin. Well, we can see it's a genuine U.S. coin, by God. There it is, right? That's stating the obvious. But it's a good Kennedy antique. And it's always going to go up in value. It's actually a rarity. I've never seen one before, and I love it. It's a very special object. All right? Beautiful. Thank you. I like that. It's the kind of thing I wouldn't mind having in my pocket.
What's it?
It's worth in the neighborhood of $350, $400 as a Kennedy memento. Nice. I like it. And this is a picture, a photograph of Marilyn Monroe by Photofolio, circa 1950. This is a notepad?
I think,
yeah.
No, like a card.
Like a card, yeah. What I like about this is it shows Marilyn Monroe in 1950. That's just about when she was beginning to get popular. So it's an early image of Marilyn Monroe. And anything with Marilyn Monroe is kind of collectible. On eBay, this would probably bring $100. All right? Very, very rare photograph of her. About $100. This is made in Dresden.
Oh.
It's not Meissen at all. It's Dresden.
Okay.
And it's very high quality. It was made in the 19th century, not the 18th century. So, is it real Meissen? The answer would be no. Okay? It's trying to be, but it's not quite.
Okay.
All right? It's very good quality. It's probably worth, $700. It's a good thing because it's in good shape.
All right.
Okay?
This little piece I know is over 80 years old.
Okay.
The lady who gave it to me is 99.
I like this better. You know, that's a nice figurine. I see lots of them. This is an ashtray. And look how simple it is. It's just got a beautiful little horse on it. Isn't that beautiful?
Can't even see it, can you, people? I know.
I mean, you can't see it too well, but it's got a little pony on there. It's very simple, very lovely. The only thing against it is an ashtray.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know, right now we're trying. If you smoke cigarettes nowadays, we want to shoot you and kill you. Isn't that ridiculous? The same people that were doing LSD in the 60s are attacking people who smoke cigarettes today. That doesn't make sense to me. I love it. To me, this is a work of art. I treasure it. I think it's worth about $100, but it's a great work of art. Okay? This is a lemonade set. Look at the beautiful execution. Isn't that lovely? You see how they twist, they put a twist design in two directions? They've applied this beautiful colored base and handle, and they put a sterling silver collar on the top of it. This was probably made in Meriden, Connecticut area, or at least it was finished in that area.
There's nothing, no insignia, nothing on any of these.
It says it's trap shooting, Westchester, New York, Long Island, Deer's outing, July 13th, 1927.
It was a trophy.
Wow! This was a trophy for trap shooting in 1927, given in the Westchester area. It was probably made in Meriden, and
6 glasses.
Yeah, 6 glasses, about $1,200. It's an outstanding set.
Why are there no markings on it?
Doesn't need it.
Is it blown?
Yeah, this is free blown. It's hand tooled. This is solid sterling on the top of it, and it's great. All right?
Thank you.
It's fabulous. This is what's called Art Deco.
So not all glass companies mark their glass.
Oh no, very few.
They came in Tiffany bags, the perfect size.
Came in Tiffany bags. Could have been sold in Tiffany's jewelers.
I mean, look at it, perfect.
Yeah.
Each one.
Yep. Keep the Tiffany bags.
I will.
It was probably sold by Tiffany.
This too, I think.
Remember, Tiffany was just a merchant. They didn't make a lot of this stuff.
They sold other.
They're a jewelry store.